Welcome to Behind the Schemes, a conversation about protecting our planet's precious wildlife from commerce, corruption, and counterfeit cures. This is Rhishja Cota-Larson with Behind the Schemes, and in this episode, we're talking about closing Bear-ly Legal Loopholes in Vietnam with Quyen Vu, founder of Education for Nature Vietnam. How many bears are in bear farms in Vietnam as compared to maybe 5 or 6 years ago?
According to the CITES office, there are about 2,380 captive bears at the moment in Vietnam, which means it's down from 4,500 in 2005. Of course, which is, great for Vietnam.
Where do the bears on bear farms come from? Are they born in captivity or are they caught in the wild?
Most of them come from the wild. Hunters often kill the mother bears and take away their cubs. And we believe that 90% of them was cubs when they went into the farms in 1990s. And many of these cubs were probably from Laos because, Vietnam, the populations in Vietnam had been declined greatly due to illegal hunting and trade. It's very difficult to find bears in forests in Vietnam these days.
Oh no! And what species of bear are these?
Yeah, most of them are Asiatic black bear because they keep bears to milk by, and Asiatic black bear produce much more by than the sun bear.
Oh, okay. So most of the bears on the bear farms, they are being farmed for their bear bile?
Yes, because bear bile has been used in the traditional Chinese medicine for centuries. And many Vietnamese people believe that bear bile is a magical medicine that can be used for a range of ailments like bruises, muscle complaints, digestive problem, or even cancer. And bear bile also used as a source of vitamins. And so bear farming in Vietnam is mostly to support the bear bile demand in Vietnam.
And can you tell us about the captive born bear loophole? Tell us about your efforts to close the loophole.
Well, in 2006, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, MARD, issued Decision 47 on captive bear management. And the Decision 47 stated that bear cubs are born at the farm would be confiscated and transferred to rescue center. However, this decision was replaced by the Decision 95 in 2008, and this clause was removed, which of course, create a major concerns among individuals and organizations like ENV, because if bear farmers are allowed to keep bear cubs, it means that bear farming would never end in Vietnam. And as I said, earlier, most of bears enter the farm as cubs. So if bear cubs discovered at farms, farmer can claim that these bears were born at their farms. And I guarantee that these bears would not be confiscated by our authorities. And so at the moment, MARD is in the process of producing a new circular that would replace the Decision 95. And ENV has been working hard to ensure that the new circular will be improved and help achieve the original objectives, stopping the illegal hunting and trade of bears and phasing out bear farming in Vietnam. And we already provided our comment to MARD and attended their first meeting. However, the result from this meeting is, really concern us because we feel like this loophole would probably remain because they don't have any plan to confiscate bear cubs at farms. So thus we are working on other angles to ensure that the new circular would help strengthen the captive bear management to help face, to achieve the goal of phasing out bear farming in Vietnam.
And going back to baby bears, the bear cages look really small. How are bears breeding in the small cages, or like you said, are they actually probably not breeding and they're bringing in wild bear cubs, or are they breeding?
Yes, uh, but most of bear farms in Vietnam, farmer keep bears in very very small cages. Uh, the bear can barely move in a
Mm-hmm.
cage. However, so far uh, we have there's about 22 bears cubs have been born in the captivities, but these bear cubs were born in a free range farm in
Mm.
Vietnam. Not there are few farms are free ranging.
Mm-hmm.
So of course if bear kept in a small cages they can't breed.
Yeah, because I was reading one of the requirements for the cages, and it just said that they needed to be, 1.5 meters long. That's not even much longer than a bear.
Yep. If you go to visit a bear farm in Vietnam, you will see cage after cage, and they're very small. We don't know how a bear can move around. How can they, uh, you know, stretch their legs or stretch the body or just move around? It's very small cages.
Hmm. Um, is it, and going back again to these loopholes, is it possible that some of the bear bile facilities are using the scientific education or conservation labels to cover up their activities?
Well, bear farming is a little bit different from tiger farming in
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam. Tiger Farm has been registered as experiments for tiger conservation,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, with the permission from the Prime Minister. However, our study, of course, shows that these tiger farms had no value for tiger conservation in Vietnam. In fact, it's used as a cover. It's used as a cover for illegal activities.
Mm-hmm.
But however, as I said, bear farming is different because uh, in 2005, as part of the national strategies in phasing out the bear farming in Vietnam, MOD registers all the captive bears. And according to the decision 02, all the captive bears must be registered by the end of February 2005. And all the bears that discovered after these dates and are not registered would be confiscated. Does that mean that the bear farmer uh, in 2005 could just register the bears? So they don't need to use scientific education as a cover.
Mm.
However, according to the law, they are not allowed to extract bear bile.
Mm-hmm.
But this crime hasn't been enforced by local authorities. We know that farmers still extract bile because how can they keep this business going if they don't make money from it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And if they're keeping the bears in the small cages, what else would they be doing with them?
Exactly. And what's the purpose of keeping bears and tiger? An ordinary person in Vietnam keeping bears and tiger in the cages for conservation? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Ugh. Can you tell us about a recent bear rescue?
ENB, we don't actually rescues. We don't actually do rescues ourselves. We facilitate the process. Mostly most of the work is done by local authority. Most of the rescues or bear moving or transferring is done by local authorities. Uh, but we facilitate the process. For example, if a bear owner calls up and want to give up their bears, and they ask us for our help, we would help them and to contact local authorities, and so that the authority can get paperwork going, and we help them to file rescue censures and put the rescue censure to work with local authorities so that local authority can transfer the bears to a rescue censure. And in some cases, authority calls up after they confiscate the bears, or after they after or when they have somebody, a bear owner, want to voluntarily turn over the bears to the government. They would call us up and help and ask us for help to find a rescue center that would take the bears. So we would help to coordinate the process and get the bear transfer, and monitor the process and get everybody together to work together to get the bear transfer to rescue centers. That's our roles. On the rescues, on the actual rescue work done by authority. We don't get to do such exciting work.
You said the bear owners sometimes turn in their bears. Does that happen a lot? Is it happening more? And is it ever done because of awareness about the cruelty of the bear bile farming?
Yes, actually, we have a campaign that focus on bear farmers, encourage them to stop uh, their bear farming businesses. Every month, we send them letters. We show, we we warn them, bear bile extraction is illegal. We tell them the governments, are tightening up and working hard on phasing out bear farming in Vietnam, and public, so more people in Vietnam against the bear bile extraction and selling bear bile, and we encourage them to stop their business and find another economic alternatives and turn over their bears. So, for example, in the last quarter, we have four bear owners turn over 9 bears.
Oh, that's great
Yeah,
news.
and we help them to work with authorities and rescue center to turn over these bears. And early this month, there were also a case in Cat Ba where one bear also transferred to a rescue center by authority. So yeah, every so often we get a bear farmer would turn over their bears. That's why then, and bear bile business in Vietnam is declining, and now a lot of bear farmers start thinking about start thinking about moving to other businesses because they can't really sustain this business much longer. And every so often we get somebody calls up and want to transfer the bear.
That's a good type of business to be closing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's totally illegal, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, they can keep the bears, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean they can keep their rested bears.
Mm-hmm.
If an unrested bears at the farm are discovered at their farm, we and reported to authority, or reported to us, we would work with authority and uh, get it confiscated. So yeah, and even though they are allowed to keep rescue bears, they're not allowed to attract bear bile or make money from bears in any way.
Oh, okay. So they can't. Okay. So there's no commercial use of the bears allowed and no bile extraction allowed. Okay. All right. And what you were talking about, all the different things that you do regarding the bear rescue, facilitating the rescues and getting people together to coordinate that. And you guys have been raising awareness about bear bile trade. What can people do to help support your work, to help support the work of Education for Nature Vietnam?
Well, people can do help in many different ways. For example, they can help by writing letters to MOD and asking the ministry to fulfill their commitments in stopping the illegal hunting and trade of bears and phasing out and their commitment in phasing out bear farming in Vietnam. We definitely need help from many other people. Uh, and as many more people do that, that would be great. It more pressure on MOD on doing the right thing for bear protection in Vietnam, and of course they can also help promote alternatives to bear bar, and they can support our effort in protecting bears in Vietnam.
Can people outside of Vietnam write to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, MARD?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. There's a lot of people in MOD can speak English and understand English very well. The head of the National Forest Protection Department and head of science department can speak English very well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, Quinn, for speaking with us again. As always, it was really great to hear about the work that you guys are doing and also to help explain the bear bile business in Vietnam a little better. And we're glad to hear that it's declining, but it looks like work still needs to be done.
Yes. Well, thank you for your interest in helping to protect Vietnam's wildlife.
Anytime. You've been listening to Closing Bear-ly Legal Loopholes in Vietnam with Quyen Vu, founder of Education for Nature Vietnam. This is Rhishja Cota-Larson with Behind the Schemes.